What's up, guys? Just here by my channel tonight. Bring the review for Aew Dynamite. So let's get to it then with the segment with Heyman and Paige and all that stuff. The commentary trio sent things over to Tony Schiavone, who is standing in the middle of the ring. He introduces his guest at this time, the winner of the 2025 Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament at AEW Double Nothing 2025 this past weekend. Heyman Page. Page makes his way to the ring wearing his Owen Hart belts as Cavalry Cabani and tries to talk about the war he went through with Will Ospreay this past Sunday night to win it. The fans chant, excuse me, the fans chant cowboy shit as he sells in the ring. Giovanni immediately rings up the big win and hands him the microphone. Alright, come on, damn. Alright, fans break out and allow you to deserve it chant before Paige begins speaking. Paige says that triumph in life is fleeting. He talks about the past 2, or if he's being honest, 3 years of his life. He lost sight of that. It's not about the win or loss. The loss. It's about what you do with it. This past Sunday, 2 men got into that ring knowing that one of them would lose. So thank you, Will Ospreay, for getting Paige the fight of his life. While one of us would have to taste defeat, one of us would have to taste victory. But the Heyman cannot release it and stuff. He will not. He will not get to win the championship around his waist, recognizing that next year there will be a new champion. So he returns his title to the people. He will always remember what it means to win the tournament, but he must now look forward to the AEW World Championship. It is the responsibility he has chased from the very moment he returned to the company, a title that has been hidden away in the briefcase. The title is meant to be a shining light of what the letters of AEW stand for, the spirit of competition. And when he joined this company on the first day, he said that the people will be his boss. So he makes a promise in 7 weeks he will become the new AEW World Champion at All In Texas. Swerve Strickland's music hits, and as he and Preston make their way down to the ring with the mic in Swerve's hand, he gives some kudos, but also has some to address. He brings up the screen, the promo the Young Bucks made about costing Swerve the world title back at Dynasty in order to help Heyman out. Strickland talks about losing the same opportunity Page has at All In Texas. He saying he conveniently has a clear path to the title off of his loss. He calls collusion on that, reminding Page of the promise he made to Swerve he wouldn't get involved, before telling Page to look him in the eye right now and tell him if he did. As they continue to talk, the theme for Will Ospreay hits, and out he comes. Fans chant, "Holy shit!" Ospreay says, by the way, they kept on bleeping it like Raw WWE always does. Will Ospreay says he hates standing up for this guy, but he has to be honest to Swerve, who he considers a big brother. He's wrong about Heyman. He tells him he's got Heyman all wrong. Ospreay tells Swerve to listen to the crowd. He says the people are starting to believe in them. He says it's not you. He thought it was him, but it's not him either. It's Heyman. He's the guy. He tells Swerve to look at him. He says they've got one shot at this. He says He says they can make this easier on him if they all work together. Swerve, Ospreay, and Heyman. Swerve yanks the microphone out of Ospreay's hand. The two bicker off, with Swerve being heard saying he will never work with Heyman. He leaves Ospreay. He leaves. Ospreay goes and talks briefly with Heyman off mic, as Heyman seems to say he will refuse Swerve's help too. Ospreay puts his hands on his head as Heyman walks off as well. The intense opener wraps up there. Alright, so next, first match, finally, John Moxley, Gabe Kidd, and Marina Shafir versus Speedball, Mike Bailey, Mark Briscoe, and Will Nightingale. John Moxley and the Riders are shown walking the building, so Cameron follows the group as they make their way back in the Coliseum, walking through a crowd. Also, match of the it'll be really choose action. As Seldon inside score circle, their dark gloomy thing wraps up, blah blah page, blah blah. Got joins her. Then here I'm trying to skip the entrance thing. As everybody in a kung fu sell my rhythm away crowd. Three person down me join their 3 person in position. Alright, so anyways, here we go. The bell sounds and refreshing off running with this one. The Kid and Briscoe kick things off for respective teams, making a quick beeline towards each other at the bell, and immediately trading ferocious strikes. After some more back for action, Kid puts Bailey through the timekeeper's table, table over the barricade. On that note, the show shifts gears into a mid-match commercial break When we return, we see Chris Stanlander watching on monitor backstage. Claudio Casanova trios to make a run in, which brings out Commander, his opponent for AW Collision this week, who walks the entire length of the top row before leaping and twisting for a splash on the floor back in the ring. Moxley has a paradigm shift on Briscoe. Shafir locks up Nightingale, uh, Nightingale in a hold while Kid does the same to Bailey. Mox continues to crank away on the bulldog choke on Briscoe, who eventually goes out. The referee calls it. So winners are John Moxley, Gabe Kidd, and Mia Shafir. Alright, we had a view with backstage, the Hurt Syndicate, MJF and Hurt Syndicate, and Megan Bayne, all that stuff. We shoot backstage where MJF and the Hurt Syndicate of MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Bishop are shown together. MJF talks about his goal, are beginning to go while making it clear along the way, and the rest are going to hurt people. He tells everyone to not take it personal, it's only business. Alright, so second match coming up, no disqualification, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Hardy Cameron. Right there, Megan Bayne before showing the interview zone, they talk directly into the camera about their upcoming no disqualification rematch against Anna Jay and Hardy Cameron. Bayne vows to make them her next victims. After they finish up, we head into another commercial break. When showing insurance, Ricochet backstage, he talks about getting the lay of the land and AW after the AW number 5. He sees all the factions here. He says Ricochet needs a crew of his own. Once he finds a crew, he'll show everyone why Ricochet's out of this world. Inside the arena, theme blah blah. So bell sounds officially off running with this one. Ford sends Jay into the barricade. We see as we see Cameron nearly void Bane's in charge in the corner. Jay gets after Ford in the ring, leading into a double team pin before Megan breaks it up. Jay goes after Bane with the weapon to no avail. This leads to Anna and Cameron trying to wear Megan down before she takes both women down hard. She sets up a chair in the ring, only to be sent face first into by Hardy into a dropkick by Anna for a 2 count before 4 breaks up. We want tables chant breaks out. Jay and Cameron continue to wear their opponents down before obliging to the crowd's demand as pulling a table out from underneath the ring. As we go to a mid-match commercial break, when we return, we see Cameron and Jay working together to hit Bane with a powerbomb through a table on the floor. Back in the ring, Ford and Jay continue to go at it until both are down on the outside. However, we see Bane catch Cameron to send her into the ring steps, and this brings out the medic to check on a busted open Cameron. She shoves a dog away as she gets into the apron, only to be knocked back down by Ford. Jay sets her up for a gory bomb onto a trap for the cover, but Megan breaks a pin up at the last second. Bane hoists up Anna for fates a descent onto the chair and cover, but Hardy comes flying in to break that pin up. She takes a rap for her troubles by Bane, but manages to kick out at much to the charging of the masses. Hardy chants from the crowd as Bane tosses chairs around. Anna has left the ring and is being checked on Ford as Ford and Bane set up for a doomsday device on Cameron for the win. Bane and Ford pick up the win in this hard-hitting, very physical rematch from this past Sunday night. So winners are Megan Bane and Penelope Ford. Alright, next match, AEW Trios Championships. The Hobbs are champions versus the Frat House. After the women's no qualification title wraps up, the theme for Oz comes up plays. Next, after Joe Powerhouse Oz controls the circle, the interest to opponent sits out. As Person Vance is babbling away on the microphone, Shibata blasts him, and the action gets started with a bang. As the bell sounds to get this official off and running, Joe tags in, sweeps the legs of Vance and hits a senton. Garrison tags in, and Joe smiles and then tags in Hobbs. Cole Carter tags in, and Hobbs immediately start ragdolling him as well. Hobbs sends another member of the frat house over the top, where he crashes and burns on the floor. Other members of the group try and hit the ring, but end up getting hit with spine busters, one after the other by Hobbs. Hobbs finishes Carter off the win. We had to another break. So winners and still AW Trios champions, the Hobbs. Alright, okay, we have a little segment coming up. The show returns to the scout, sending things over to Renee Paquette, who is standing in the middle of the ring. She introduces her guest. At this time, Jamie here out comes a bummed out looking hater in street clothes. The commentator team talks about her putting in an admirable effort and losing to Mercedes Monet in the Testify on Heart Foundation Women's Tournament Finals at the AEW Arena period this past Sunday night. Alright, Paquette asked if she had time to think about what is next for her yet. She says that is a question. Immediately, the lights in the building go out. The spire appears on the big screen, and some music begins playing. Out in her appearance comes Delka, the toxic spider who attacks Hater from behind. She leaves her lane and pulses over. The Austrian badass steps over Hater, and the idol killer quickly drops back in the old Bray Wyatt spider and stands explosive debut for Thicka. By the way, I didn't hear no fans cheer nothing, man. It was like kind of dead when she showed up. So, anyways, next match coming out, TNT Championship. Adam Cole, who's the champion, versus Kyle Fletcher. Time for our next match. Makes way out. The bell sounds. Okay, bell sound. This one, Fletcher goes on the attack early, sending the champ to the corner before the ref intervenes. Kyle mocks Cole, who goes on the attack himself before the challenger drops him to the mat. Fletcher blocks a side headlock takeover to send the champ to the ropes. This sends Cole down hard, but Adam fights back from some forearm strikes. Fletcher fights back with a body slam, but when Cole gets back to his feet, he lands a big kick on the challenger before sending Fletcher to the corner for some stomps. Kyle gets sent to the corner where he avoids one kick by Cole, only to take one to the face, sending him to the floor outside. RPG fights try to get involved, but are sent away by Paragon, allowing Cole a chance to go after the challenger, but who takes Cole out with a powerbomb onto the apron, taking control of the match. Although the show Dino she gives the show mid-match commercial break. As action continues, when the show returns, we see Kyle has Cole in the ring as he continues to go after the champion's arm until Cole takes him out with a super kick. Both men back on their feet as they trade strikes, with Adam getting some offense and on a pro star. He takes Fletcher down for a cover for close to. From there, Cole heads to a corner, but Fletcher counters out of the Panama Sunrise, Sunrise for a 2 count of his own half and half suplex by Cole before catching a challenger with the Panama Sunrise that connects this time. He's ready for the boom. He's ready for the boom, but is attacked by Josh Alexander out of nowhere. The referee calls it. So winner via disqualification, Adam Cole. Alright, next match coming up after that, AEW National Championship qualifying match. Josh Alexander versus Broken King. Alexander and Fletcher begin a beatdown on Cole after the referee waves the match off, giving Cole the win and allowing him to retain his TNT Championship via disqualification. Brody King makes his way down with a chair for the save. He forces Alexander and Fletcher to the outside. We are reminded that Alexander and King are scheduled for an AEW National Championship qualifying match tonight, and it appears that it's coming up next. We head to another commercial break. When return, security has cleared out extraneous bodies from the arena, allowing the match to get started. Whomever emerges victorious in this match will advance to the four-way match at AEW Firefest for the AEW National Championship. That reigning champion King Omega will be defending the two men trade heavy strikes in the ring. King leaves to grab a shirt that he blasts Josh in the face before beating the man's chest with forearm strikes. Alexander is leaning against the ring post as Brody goes for a chop, but Alexander dodges it and goes after the hand. Josh brings King to the apron before rolling into the ring to break the ref's count, and then brings Brody to the barricade before King fights back. Guys, I'm sorry, it's not my fault. Before King fights back with the Thunderous chop that forces him to the floor. As the action continues, Josh does his best to avoid King by getting back into the ring, but Brody keeps on the attack until Alexander slips out of the ring for a breather. He then blocks a dive from King before connecting with DT, sending Brody's head onto the apron. He follows that up with a big chop to the chest and a body block, sending King to the floor. Outside, Josh breaks a revs count before going after Brody on the barricade before sending him into the ring. Says for added damage as we head to match commercial break. When the show returns, King busts Alexander open badly and pins him to advance. So winner qualifying for the AEW Firefest and National Title 4-way match, Brody King. Alright. Alright, so I have a segment coming up, main event segment. Thomas Tony Storm, Mercedes Moné meet ahead of All In Texas. So main event is the time segment. After the international title qualifier wraps up, Escar runs down the updated lineup for next week's AEW Firefest 4-hour special as well as this Saturday's episode of AEW Collision. He then sends backstage to Kyle Fletcher, who complains about not being the TNT champion. He doesn't seem to think he needs the Don Callis family as he rants. He is attacked out of nowhere by Alan Cole. Security rushes to the scene to bring things up back inside the arena. It really sucks. Alright. The arena, back inside the arena, the famous sounds of Mercedes Moné's theme music hits, and out comes the CEO, the winner of the 2025 Oregon Tournament belt to Collision pay-per-view. Moné, wearing a bedazzled cowboy hat, sells in the ring. Moné begins to speak, but she doesn't get to say much before she is caught up by the interest tune, where AEW champion Tony Storm screaming black and white and all stuff. Coming by Luda, she grabs a mic. She grabs a mic, and she and Moné circle each other. She kicks her shoes off and then lays her AEW Women's World Championship down in front of her and between herself and Moné. Moné says time she and Storm finally meet. She says she knows fans are sick of black and white and are ready for champion full color. Storm says she's waited a long time for Moné. 441 days ago, she made her AEW debut at an event named after herself. She has gone on to win a number of titles, but she has not yet once spoke to her. She mentions how Moné said she had her eye on Storm before she got here. Moné says Moné told Tony Khan she is the one match she wanted when she got here. So, darling, what took you so long? Moné tells Storm patience. She says this isn't about Storm, it's about Moné's legacy. She says she's the Beyonce of women's wrestling. Moné says Storm isn't the shy girl she met 10 years ago. She says she's no longer a boss, she's a CEO. Storm brings up how Moné wants all the titles, but Storm needs only one, the AEW Women's World Championship. She says she has bled for this, she cried for this, and died for this. So if you wanna ride the money train through the Tony Tunnel, darling, I just hope you can get deep enough. She says in 40 days they will meet in Texas, and somewhere in the world, a little girl will be watching and say, "Holy shit, these bitches are crazy." And then she will find out who the better woman is. Storm tells Moné she is the greatest of all time, but unfortunately for her, Storm happens to be timeless. Fans chant, "She's our champion," and then Tony Moné grits her teeth. She tells Tony she may call herself timeless, but what she deserves is for her to come to for her time to come to an end. I'll see you at All In. Moné finishes. Storm responds, "See you at All In, darling." They both drop their microphones and stare at each other. Moné extends her hand for a handshake. Storm hesitates, but shakes her hand and then pulls her and close. Storm leans and smells Moné and then kisses her hand. Moné smiles, but then turns Storm and tries hitting her with her finisher. Storm counters and looks for her Storm Zero finisher, but Moné avoids it and escapes the ring. Storm stares Moné down from inside the ring as her music hits. This house show we go out there. So, okay. So, anyways, yeah, good show tonight and stuff. It was okay tonight, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, some of the matches were good, and all that stuff. But yeah, can't wait to see Thomas Storm versus Mercedes Moné and stuff. But I don't know, what match are you looking for so far right now with John Moxley and Heyman Page, and now Mercedes Moné and Thomas Storm and stuff. But yeah, one of the first two matches got showed up on the card of AW All In Texas, all that stuff. So yeah, anyways, I can't wait. But oh man, I wish AW All In was next month and stuff. So we have to wait until July 12th and shit. So but anyways, at the same time though, it's gonna suck though. Saturday night's main event is gonna be on that time too. But I don't know. I'm gonna record that and shit. But yeah. Anyways, can't wait to see what happens. So that's that. But anyways, that was this first video. Hope you like it and not whatever stuff. So, guys, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment. If you guys want to leave a comment stuff, I don't care what you guys do. And that was it. I see you guys Friday night for Friday Night SmackDown. All right, laters.